When I first started in sales, I had a very hard time establishing trust and getting the prospect to open up with me. Like other salespeople, I was very nervous, anxious, I was very pushy and salesy at the same time. So if this really resonates with you guys, this video is for you. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can build this natural trust and getting the prospect to open up to you and engage with you instead of them trying to rush off the phone from you. So my name is Eric. I am a sales coach and I've coached over hundreds of sales reps in my career. In the last 4 years, myself and my team has done over 30 million in revenue. So when it comes to building this natural trust between yourself and the prospect, you need two things working together. First thing is you need a natural certainty, like we discussed in a previous video. And second, you need to know how to engage with the client. So we talked about in the last video about how do you build this natural confidence, and you need three belief systems to do so: a belief in the product and service, belief in the process, and belief in yourself. We also talk about engagement, how you can engage with the client and build this effortless trust by having the right intent going into the call and before getting to the call. So why is it so important to have these two things down to build this natural, trust between yourself and the prospect and get them to open up with you and want to talk with you? Well, first of all, let's talk about, certainty, right? Those three belief systems. If you don't have those three belief systems, it's going to be very hard to build trust with the client because you're not going to sound credible, first of all, because you don't believe in the product and service. You might even feel guilty about talking about it, and the prospect can sense that off you, but you're going to doubt every word you're saying because you don't trust yourself and your process. So, if you put yourself in the prospect's shoe and you're talking to an individual who doesn't have any beliefs whatsoever, you're not going to want to buy from them because you're sensing this uncertain energy from them and they're not feeling confident about going with you and your product and service. Because essentially, your confidence is marketing to the product and service you're providing. If you sound confident in what you're providing, if you sound confident in yourself and the process and the words you're saying, they'll feed off that, and they build this internal trust and confidence in you. But it's impossible to bring out the energy if you don't believe within yourself those three belief systems. So this is why it's so hard to build a natural confidence, and it's so hard to force confidence. You see a lot of times in sales companies, they give external motivations to get the people confident, to get them pushing, but it fades away very quick because they don't believe in it. It's all internal. Second thing is why engagement, the second pillar, is so important to building trust between yourself and the prospect is your intent. No one likes to deal with someone who has an agenda. No one likes to deal with someone who is looking out for themselves and not the other person. So again, a big issue with intent is that a lot of salespeople, especially new salespeople, even the tenured salespeople, is they are just thinking about themselves, their own sales process, their own numbers and all these things. So you're not really present. You can sense that this person is trying to sell me. You can sense that they're doing all these things to make me feel comfortable, and it's all about the agenda of selling them, right? This is why intent is so important, and you actually need a combination of certainty and intent to build this effortless trust. Is you not only sound credible, but you sound like you're really there to help the person out. So in the last video, we went pretty in depth about how to build this belief in your product and service, yourself, and the process. So if you guys want a more detailed explanation and guide, watch my previous video, but I want to go more details of how you can build this engagement through the right intent. So I went over it briefly in the last video, but I want to go more detailed here. The key thing, guys, here is that your engagement is the mirror, the output of what your thoughts, your intent is. So whatever you're thinking, whatever you're projecting within you, your engagement will follow. And it's automatic. Like there's nothing you can do to stop it. So, for example, if you're not in a good mood, let's say, and you're thinking about something that, something bad happened from last week or yesterday, and if someone strikes a conversation with you, it's very hard for your engagement to sound friendly because you have this thought in your head of, all these negative things that happen, and your engagement is going to sound just more sharp and, frustrated and disgruntled. It's just how it works, right? So same thing in sales. If you are thinking about, selling a person or having a certain agenda towards a person to get your commission, then your engagement is going to sound naturally more anxious. Because there's a fear of maybe not getting what you want to get. You're gonna sound more needy. You're trying to get something out of them, of course, and you're gonna sound a bit soulless. You're gonna sound like you don't really care about the other person because you're just there to get what you want. And from the prospect's point of view, logically, they can't explain why they can't trust you, but internally, emotionally, they sense this selfish agenda from you. And this is what we want to avoid altogether. And especially nowadays, guys, when it comes to sales, like we live in a very salesy world now. I mean, sales is becoming exponentially harder every 5 years because of the amount of competitors that are out there with all the mass marketing and all the sales tactics. So we live in an era of, trust scarcity where people just don't trust anything anymore, especially with AI now, right? There's so much AI, bombarded messages and email where, what people really want is authenticity. Like they want something that's real. So if you come up as a salesperson and you are sounding like every other 99% of salespeople out there whose intent and the goal is to sell you, they're going to be very turned off by that because the trust is just not there in this world anymore. So again, guys, how you can build this natural trust now, guys, it's not really a technique or a tactic anymore. It's just being genuinely just thinking and with your heart to just really help your prospect out in the best way possible, to really understand what their situation is, to really understand what some of the problems and gaps they may be facing, and really provide the best solution for them. And ultimately, if they don't have any gaps, if they don't have any problems, and they don't need any solution, then you don't provide them that solution. It's all in the heart posture. So you need to change your heart posture to to really help the person out. Stop thinking about yourself, because ironically, if you do genuinely want to help the person out and provide the best solution outcome for them, you end up making a lot more sales as an outcome. You don't have to worry about selling the client or worry about your numbers, because the best salespeople I know who are genuinely out there to help someone out, they do not struggle because they just build this immense amount of trust and of course authority when speaking and working with a prospect. So how do you actually change this engagement? How do you change your intent then? Well, it takes time, because all your lives you've been thinking the wrong thing during your sales calls. All your life you've been thinking about, getting the sale, booking the meeting, getting my numbers up, my commission check, right? So we have to unwire that. We have to retrain our brain to thinking more selflessly towards the client, not selfishly towards yourself. And one of the best way to do this is to have a mantra system. This is what I teach my sales rep. Even, I don't care if they're brand new or they have some experience. You need a mantra system to rewire your brain. And the mantra system is this. Just think about, how can I best understand the client's situation and figure out the process and see if there's any problems and gaps in what they're doing, and provide the best solution for them to fill in those gaps. If you guys repeat that over and over and over again before your call, during your call, after your call, just think about that all day, you will start to retrain your brain to think more selflessly. Now, the immediate benefit is this. Your engagement, your tonality will change on its own. So you don't actually have to worry about micromanaging how you sound and changing your tonality or being conscious of that. You don't need to think about any of those, because you will naturally sound more trustworthy, more authoritative, more engaging, more empathetic. You will sound more persuasive naturally, because you're being a human being at the end of the day. And you have to trust that your social system in you will do its job. Based off your thought. Because remember, like I said, guys, your engagement is a mirror of your thought. So in order to change your engagement, you have to change your thoughts. So in order to really instill this, try for the first 3 days. Because if you can do it for the first 3 days, you can do it for 3 weeks. And if you can do it for 3 weeks, you can do it for 3 months. And after I call it the 3-3-3 rule. And once you get that done after 3 months, it actually becomes automatic to you. Like you actually rewire your brain to a point where you're not leaning more towards selfless intent versus selfish. I've seen this in real life all the time when I work with sales rep. Like when I work with a certain client, when I work with a sales rep, I would say about 60-70% of the time they're coming from a selfish intent. And after about 3 days or 3 weeks, using that mantra system, they're able to make that major shift. And then, now when I call them, it's just automatic at that point. They don't really have to consciously think about it. Now, I do recommend to think consciously here and there after 3 months, just to keep it sharp and fresh, but it will become automatic. Just like how your selfish thought became automatic from all those years, you can actually rewire that to thinking more selflessly. And guys, the ultimate benefit of doing this is this. Like, yes, absolutely, you're going to get a prospect to open up more and trust you more, and your numbers will increase. Like I'm telling you, your numbers will increase. Whether your booking numbers or your revenue, those are all going to increase. But I think most importantly, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're actually going to enjoy sales a lot more, because you're actually doing something beyond just yourself, and you're actually trying to help someone out. And for me, that type of mindset gives me this ultimate energy and motivation where I actually enjoy sales and I actually look forward to speaking with my prospect and not dread calling them. It not only is good for your results, but you're gonna have more of a fulfilled sales career by thinking this way. Because I think ultimately that's what sales is about. It's not about yourself. It's about really helping the prospect and giving them the best solution for their problems, right? So think consultatively. Let's get this whole salesy idea and ideology out of your system. So I hope this video was enjoyable for you guys and beneficial, and I hope you guys actually apply what I taught here and apply to your sales game to make a massive impact. If you guys want, I do also offer a one-on-one free consultation call where we do a deep diagnostic call on, what some of the things that are maybe holding you back in your sales process or your mindset or engagement. So you guys can click on the link below to book a time with me. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video again and follow for more and like this video. Thank you.